Alright guys, today we just have one quick thing to do to the car. We're actually going to install new transmission mounts on the vehicle. This is a Rogue Engineering transmission mount which shares the part number with the manual transmission variants. My car here is a DCT car, but they have the same part number, so they're interchangeable. So I was initially going to install the Rogue Engineering mount, which is a rubber variant, but a solid rubber instead of that soft rubber bushing that the stock car has. But I had a second thought, and I figured if I'm doing it, why not just get a poly transmission mount and get some of that diff whine, or transmission whine to be specific, but it sounds pretty similar to a diff whine. If you have like a solid diff mount, this is probably the closest you can get without dropping the subframe. So I actually picked these up from Aliexpress. The construction looked very similar to the one RevShift offers for 60 bucks, but I got these for 25-ish. And the shipping was quick too, to Korea. You know, obviously China's closer to Korea geographically. So I got these in about a week, whereas the Rogue ones took about, I think this took more than a month to come to Korea. So I'm gonna have the poly mounts installed first and see how they feel in terms of NVH and the sound, obviously, sound of the transmission. Because after some research, I found out that the Rogue Engineering mount does not add any additional vibration or noises to the car. So I was kind of bummed about that, whereas most people will be happy about it. So my plan here is to mount these ones in and see how they sound, and see if these are actually worth the money for 25 bucks off of Aliexpress. A lot of people, I mean, nobody ever thinks about buying car parts on Aliexpress, especially if it goes underneath the car. But since transmission mounts have pretty basic construction, we'll go ahead and test these out, and I'll tell you guys how it feels. So a couple of options on Aliexpress actually is just a solid mount with just a poly cover on it. But these, I don't think are like that. You can see there's a clear point where it ends right there. But, I mean, it could be like all solid down here, but weight-wise, these are pretty light compared to the Rogue ones. Not like considerably light, but the Rogue ones are a little bit heavier. But at the same time, these are 25 bucks. The Rogue ones are 60-ish. These are basically the same size. And I think I'll personally be reusing the mount or the nuts that came with the original car instead of using these Chinese ones. Although these are nicely zinc coated, I think I'll stick to the stock ones unless they're like really rusted out and shit. Yeah, let's get to it. So before we get into it, please do not buy the solid mount versions. It will break your transmission and it's not going to be a good day. First thing in order is we're going to take off this under tray thing underneath the transmission. This is where the transmission is, so we're going to take that off. All right guys, I just removed the thing, but I'm seeing a lot of leaks on the transmission pan. I'm not sure if it's like a oil leak. Well, definitely gotta get this shit checked out. It's for sure an oil leak, I think. Yep, that's definitely oil. That's a lot of oil too. I'm surprised no mechanic was able to spot this. I mean, it's underneath the floor pan, but it's pretty bad. Anyway, let's get the transmission mounts out first. They're right here. So we gotta undo these. But before we do, we have to jack up the transmission by putting a floor jack here. Not a floor jack, but a transmission support jack. All right guys, I just got the stock mounts out. This is what they look like. These are very soft. You just try flexing it. Maybe not quite with one hand, but you guys can see it flexing right there. I mean, if it flexes with my fingers, think of what it'll do in the car, right? Even though it has these limiting straps on there. So we're gonna replace these with these ones from Aliexpress. Right now I'm contemplating whether or not I should have these installed in here first or not, because once I have this in there, it's gonna be pretty difficult to reach in there, I feel like. But since these have these notches where you're supposed to line this up, this notch right here, I figured it'll be pretty difficult to have these oriented the correct way once it's in the car or the transmission. So I'll just mount the mounts onto the brace first and then raise it to the car. All right, I just got these in, but you guys don't want to tighten these out in too hard. It's gonna be 14 Newton meters for both sides and on the top as well. There was a person in the garage with me, so I didn't want to bother him working on his car. So here's a voiceover. So I torqued down all the bolts for the brace and for the mounts top and bottom. Basically retightened the exhaust clamp or exhaust hanger on the right side of the screen. And then we'll basically put the undercover back on and we're good to go. All right, guys. You can already tell the transmission is really stiff. It's making quite a lot of noises inside the car. It does kind of sound like you're sitting in a race car. This is the gears engaging. It's very apparent. You can definitely hear it. Put it into manual mode. Oh, damn. Sounds insane. All right, there's a row of cars waiting for some reason, so I'm gonna let them go. These models will be solid mount, but I saw the transmission mounts kind of squishing, so I'm guessing it's not solid. But damn, this is like next level harsh. Damn. This is jarring. Everything's rattling, dude. Damn, dude, this is a lot of vibration. You can obviously feel it through the steering wheel as well. You can hear the gear clattering too, or the flywheel, I guess. I know the ECS one is this loud too, or it's pretty loud too, but I'm not sure if it's this loud. This is like pretty next level shit. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna give you a quick conclusion. It might be a little too much. This is the first time I'm gonna say this. This might be a little too much. If you daily drive your car, like myself, this might be a little too much. Like, the whole car, the whole chassis shakes. This, especially at 4,000 to 5,000 RPM, where the harmonics aren't too great, this thing is so loud. When you're coasting, it is. So at 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, you downshift into 4,000 or 5,000 RPM. When the engine is coasting down, it's just so loud. But it's an enjoyable sound, I would say. This is something I probably can get used to in a couple of days. But I don't know. Especially when I have the option to go back to Rogue Engineering, which is supposed to be like OEM, but just a little bit stiffer without any more NVH. I don't know, I might just do that. I might just rock it for a couple more weeks, see how I like it. The thing that I'm especially worried about is the longevity of the engine mounts or the motor mounts. Since the transmission is so stiff, there is no wiggle room for the transmission or the differential to slop around. All the extra load is being put on the engine mounts or the motor mounts. Therefore, the motor mounts might not last as long as it's supposed to. And especially with 60,000 miles, I'm starting to get worried about the motor mounts going out. And you saw the transmission too, it's leaking right now. I had no idea it was leaking. I'll probably get it sorted out pretty soon. But, oh man, I'll just give you a quick rev. You can hear everything rattling around. I don't even have anything in the passenger seat. This is with valves closed. I mean, it's only loud inside the car, but still, this is quite jarring. But obviously, if you track the car, if it's your track toy, this doesn't really matter to you because you only drive the car at the track. But I'll just say it right now, like I said before, this might be a little too much. I'm just saying. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video was somewhat informative. I know a lot of guys want to do poly transmission mounts, but they couldn't find a video of a DCT car with it. Obviously, there's not many benefits to having poly mounts on a DCT car, except for the added noise and vibration. But if this sound is something that you're looking for without doing the diff mount, which can be very costly, KMP diff raise kit or lift kit is $1,000 to begin with, and the labor to drop the subframe and do all that, it's just a lot of work. But this is a very cost-effective solution to getting that whine that you want. For now, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.